Hey everybody, it's Miss Bettis, and today's lesson is on solving quadratics, looking for where they cross the x-axis. But instead of factoring like we've been doing, we're going to do a different method, and that method is called the square root method. And this is something you've done kind of before. You've dealt with square roots before, so we're just going to refresh today. So some of the things you're going to need today, you're definitely going to need the notes page to follow along with the video, a calculator to help you do simple math if you're being lazy, and something to write with, because how are you going to take notes without something to write with? So let's start with this warm-up. And you might think this is a silly warm-up, but it's going to hit home for the big concepts for today. So what is 4 times 4? It's a positive 16. And what is negative 4 times negative 4? And that is positive 16 as well. So remember, two positives when you multiply them are going to give you a positive, and two negatives when you multiply them are going to give you a positive. So let's have a quick talk. Where have you seen the square root symbol? Remember, the square root symbol is like a little check mark and a division come together. Where have you seen with these before? One of the most common ones is the Pythagorean theorem. If we're solving for c, if we take the square root on both sides, cancels out the square and you're left with just c. Can you think of any other places you've seen the square root before? Take a second and pause the video if you need to answer that question. When we take the square root of 81, we're trying to think what number times itself gives us 81. And just like our warm-up, we could have a positive 9, or we could have that negative 9. And because of this, when we write our answer, we're always going to have that plus or minus, because it is positive 9s that give us that square root of 81, or negative 9 times negative 9, which gives us 81 as well. Just think about the warm-up that we did. So why is this such a big deal? Well, as a lot of you have said in the past week or so, that factoring is a lot of steps. And if you have a form like this one right here, or even where it's set equal to 0, like I have written below, you can use the square root method instead of factoring. So there are 3 simple steps that we're going to use to get through to find our answer. We're going to rewrite it. So if it's equal to 0, like the one down here, we're going to toss that c over and end up with the c on the other side of the equal sign. Then we're going to get that x squared by itself. And the way to do that is going to be to divide by a. And then when you do that, you should have x squared by itself. And once you do, you're going to take the square root of both sides, and then you have x all by itself. So let's take those 3 steps and let's actually apply it to some problems. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line straight down from the equal sign. So we know algebra, what you do to one side, you do to the other. So we know what the 2 sides are. And I want x squared by itself. So I'm going to add this 180 to both sides, canceling it out on the left. I'm going to drop down my box because that's still there and add 0 plus 180, and that will give me. Now x squared is almost by itself. I have to deal with the 5, and that last step was to divide both sides by whatever number is in front of x squared. In this case, it is 5. When I do that, x squared will be by itself, and 5 goes into 180. So you have x squared is equal to 36. Now the last and final step, remember, is to get rid of that square by taking the square root. Those cancel out. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Now what number times itself gives you 36? A positive 6, as well as a negative 6 times a negative 6. So there's your answer. And what this means is if we're looking at a parabola, a quadratic graph, the graph is going to cross the x-axis at 6 and negative 6. Let's do another problem. For this problem, I would like for you to pause the video and try to do this problem on your own. Alright, so let's check your work. There was no number being added to or subtracted from that 3x squared. So you just need to get rid of the 3, and you do that by dividing both sides by 3. And you'll be left with x squared is equal to 5. And the same thing that you've done before, how do you get rid of a square? You take the square root. And because this is algebra, what you do to one side, you do to the other. On the left, your x will be left by itself. And there is no whole number that when you take the square root of 5 that you would get. So we can leave it as square root of 5 as long as you put plus or minus in front. And that's your final answer right there. So I just want to take a check. Let's see how you guys are feeling about this. Is it a thumbs up? You got it. A sideways thumbs. You're okay. You just need a couple more examples to make sure you got it. Or a thumbs down, like, oh dear Lord, don't leave me by myself with this. So the first step, like always in any problem that we're doing to solve, is to draw a straight line going down. I need to get rid of that 48, so I'm going to subtract it on both sides. Doing this, it's going to cancel out the ones on the left. And on the right hand side, you'll be left with a negative 48. Bring down your box and the equal sign. So I need to get rid of the 3, and I'm going to do so by dividing 3 on both sides, leaving you with x squared is equal to negative 16. And just like before, we need to get rid of the square. Now, we know that the square root of 16 is a 4, but there's a negative in front of that. And you can technically take the square root of a negative number. It's just you get imaginary numbers, and that's an Algebra 2 topic, but I do want you to know that there is such thing, and again, on the left, the square and the square roots cancel out. So if you have a negative inside, you're just going to put an I for imaginary, and you'll learn more about imaginary numbers when you get to Algebra 2. So our last example, again, we're going to start off by doing our first step for every problem that we ever try to solve. And we're going to put a straight line down that equal sign. Now, there's nothing in front of or behind what's being squared. So I can just go ahead and start off this problem by taking the square root on both sides. And when I do that on the left, the square and the square root will be canceled out. And on the right, the square root of 25 is 5. And it's actually plus or minus 5. So now, again, we're going back to basic algebra. We need to solve for x. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. And let's actually write this out so we know what the heck is going on the right. Because we know the left is going to cancel. Your x is going to be by itself. And it's going to be equal to 7 plus or minus 5. And what this is two very unique special cases. You're going to have one where you're adding, and then one where you're going to be subtracting. So let's write those two out as well. So on the left, we're going to have 7 plus 5, which we know is equal to 12. And on the right-hand side, we're going to have 7 minus 5, which we know is equal to 2. So where's the graph going to cross the x-axis? It's going to cross at x is equal to 12, and where x is equal to 2. So you're going to have two solutions, and this one's just a special case where they're not the same number. And remember, that all started from the beginning of the problem because there was nothing in front of or behind that square, like we've seen in previous examples. So let's recap everything that we've done. We've talked about solving quadratics for their roots. Now remember, we're talking about where the graph crosses the x-axis, those two red dots right there, and what points those are by using the square root method. Because remember, we're trying to get that x by itself and it's squared because it's a quadratic. And we use this when we have two different cases. When your b is missing, like the ones in the pink, it could be set equal to 0, like the one at the bottom, or c could already be separated on the other side of the equation. So you can factor it, remembering that b is going to cancel out, or you can use this new method that we've talked about today, the square root method. So there is an assignment there that you have that the sub should have paper for you. Go ahead and work on that and use your notes.